So good evening, athletes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bruce Poulin, your Master of Ceremonies for this closing banquet of the 2014 Legion National Track and Field Championships for the youth, obviously. I'm assuming that's because you are happy with the results and not the fact that it's over. Alors, bonsoir les athlètes, mesdames et messieurs, mon nom est Bruce Poulin, votre maître de cérémonie pour ce banquet de clôture des championnats nationaux d'athlétisme de la Légion pour les jeunes pour l'année 2014. I would ask that you please rise as the head table guests will come and take their positions at the head table. Je vous prie de bien vouloir vous lever alors que les invités se rendent à la table d'honneur. Perfect. Everyone matched up with a seat. That was our big concern. Sergeant at Arms, march on the colors. Sergent d'armes, faites avancer les drapeaux.
Color party, halt! Inward, turn! Deposit, colors! Outward, turn! By the left, quick, mark!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Vous pouvez maintenant vous asseoir. All right, so this evening I have the pleasure of introducing you to our head table for this banquet. And I would ask, although this is a trial basis, that you hold your applause till we've gone through them all. But I understand there's some very enthusiastic people here who tend to get carried away, but that's okay. Alors, j'ai le plaisir ce soir de vous présenter les invités à la table d'honneur pour ce banquet. Et je vous prie de bien vouloir vous abstenir d'applaudir jusqu'au moment où ils auront tous été présentés. Starting from your left, who actually is with me right now, on my left, is Padre Art Turnbull. Ensuite, nous avons, going back to my right, starting in the proper order, we have Loretta Washburn, l'épouse de notre prochaine invité de la table d'honneur. We have the member of the Dominion Command Sports Committee and technical advisor for the games, un membre du comité des sports de la direction nationale et conseiller technique pour les Jeux, Mr. Leroy Washburn. Representing the Local Arrangements Committee for the 2015 and 2016 Legion Nationals in Sainte-Thérèse, Québec, Madame Claire Loisel and her spouse, Mr. Richard Lauzon. Alors, les deux représentants du comité local des préparatifs pour les championnats nationaux de la Légion de 2015 et 2016 qui se tiendront à Sainte-Thérèse, au Québec, Madame Claire Loisel, accompagnée de son époux, Monsieur Richard Lauzon. The chairman of the Local Arrangements Committee for these games, la présidente du comité local des préparatifs pour ces Jeux, camarade Leslie Maudsley. The chairman of the Dominion Sports Committee, le président du comité des sports de la direction nationale, camarade André Paquette. Our special guest and keynote speaker for this evening, notre invité spécial et conférencier principal pour ce soir, M. Laurier Primo. The Dominion President of the Royal Canadian Legion, le président national de la direction nationale de la Légion royale canadienne, comrade Tom Eagles. The President of the Ladies Auxiliary for BC Yukon Command of the Royal Canadian Legion, la présidente des auxiliaires féminins de la direction provinciale Colombie-Britannique Yukon, comrade Karen Crashley. From Athletics Canada, the Chairman of the Board for Athletics Canada, d'Athlétisme Canada, M. Gordon Orlikow. Le président de la direction provinciale Colombie-Britannique Yukon, the President of BC Yukon Command, comrade Angus Stanfield. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your head table. I would now invite the Padre to say grace.
Gracious God, you who inspire and support all of us, receive our thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to compete as athletes. Thank you for bringing us together in friendship as new buddies. Thank you for having us live as inheritors of the peace and justice so many made sacrifice to achieve. Thank you for the challenges that freedom will offer us in times yet to come. Bless those who provided this meal, and bless those who now eat together. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
So time is moving on, and we have some pleasant tasks to perform before we proceed with the closing ceremony. Alors j'espère que vous avez aimé votre repas et le temps passe. Alors nous avons maintenant quelques tâches agréables à accomplir avant de terminer cette soirée. First, we'll have the remarks by the chairman of the board from Athletics Canada, Mr. Gordon Orlikow. Alors je demanderai à M. Gordon Orlikow de bien vouloir nous adresser la parole.
Thank you, Bruce. At Athletics Canada, we're the national sports federation responsible for the national teams. And so we work very closely in partnership with the Legion to put on a meet such as this, and we work very closely with our provincial colleagues to coordinate development programs across the country. We especially value our relationship with the Legion. We've been involved together putting on this competition since 1977. I was reminded with a start that 1977 was my first national competition going as a 17-year-old to Canada Games. And it started my own career in track and field. And we know that for many of you, this will be your first stepping stone onto our various national team programs. Every year, we're amazed at the quality of athletes at this competition, and this year is no different. And we hope that for those of you tasting your first national competition, you come away from this last week not only with new friendships, new relationships, but also just the confidence to know that you can compete with anyone, that you have what it takes to compete at a national level, and that with the support of your coaches and with the support of your friends and your clubs and schools, that when you come back to a competition like this, you'll be ready. And more than that, on those cold winter mornings when maybe staying in bed seems like the better thing to do, you'll think back to your performances here over the last week, and you think, you know, if I'd just gotten out of bed a couple more times, maybe I would have had that extra 10 centimeters or that extra few tenths of a second. So competitions like this are hugely important. Next year will be very exciting. We will have World Youth in Colombia. We have Commonwealth Youth in Samoa. Pan Am Games are in Toronto. Pan Am Juniors in Edmonton. And we'll have senior teams in Korea, China, and Doha. So lots going on in the world of athletics. So in closing, just wanted to express my congratulations to everyone here, and I'm hoping that you'll stand with me and just give a special round of applause to the local organizing committee and your coaches for all the great work they've done over the last week.
Thank you very much, Gordon. I now invite the Dominion Sports Committee Chairman, Comrade André Paquette, to announce this year's top team athletes from each provincial command as chosen by the coaches. And I would ask those individuals to please stand when your name is called. Alors, merci, Gordon, pour vos mots d'encouragement. Et j'inviterai maintenant le président national du comité des sports, camarade André Paquette, qui annoncera les meilleurs athlètes de chaque direction provinciale, tels que sélectionnés par les entraîneurs. Ceux qui seront nommés, je vous demanderai de bien vouloir vous lever pour qu'on puisse prendre des photos et vous serez sur les caméras. Comrade Paquette.
Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, athletes all, just before I go on with the top athlete announcements, I'd like to acknowledge one of our own, Mr. Leroy Washburn, who on the 26th of June, 2014, was inducted into the Athletics Canada Hall of Fame in the Builder category. Leroy has been involved with the Royal Canadian Legion National Youth Track and Field Program since 1975. He is recognized as one of Canada's top officials for more than 60 years. He has played a key role in the leading standardization and improvement of the Canadian officiating program. He has officiated or has been a technical official at the Pan American, Olympic, Commonwealth, and World Cup Games. Aside from officiating, Leroy has served as the Athletics New Brunswick President, the Chef de Mission for the 1987 World Student Games, Vice President of the New Brunswick Special Olympic Association, coached and was the union representative for the St. Thomas University athletes, and personal coach to Hal Merrill, a three-time bronze medalist at the Paralympic Games. Comrade Leroy. Comrade Leroy, congratulations to you on this well-earned honor. We at the Legion stand proudly in your long shadow of accomplishments and are honored to call you a fellow Legionnaire. Having said that, I also want to acknowledge your wife of 58 years, Loretta, for as we at this table all know your accomplishments are hers as well. Loretta, we congratulate you and thank you for your guidance and support that has laid the platform to the many accomplishments that you have both achieved. Your combined legacy, especially from the Legion point of view, is evident in the young faces that sit before you. Once again, thank you both. And now, the top males and females from each command. Manitoba, Northwestern Ontario, Chris Crawford and Taylor Heald. And please stand. And before I go any further, if I mispronounce any of your names, please, I apologize in advance. Some of these are a little bit on the tongue-twisting side. New Brunswick, Brady Graves and Louisa Schwartz. Saskatchewan, Easton Neufeld, Sarah Murray. PEI, Logan Robinson and Kylie Wallace. Newfoundland, Evan Knight and Chantal Baines. Ontario, Joseph Maxwell, Alexandria Santiago. Not done yet. Alberta, Kaylin McNabb and Janelle Des Moines. British Columbia, I'm going to try this. Vikaramjit Gondora and Terrell Smiley. Nova Scotia, Riley Jennings and Maggie McClure. And Quebec, Ismail Muria Boutateur and Jesse Lacourse. And now, for the announcement of this year's top performers at the games as selected by the coaches. Top male, and just before I do that, I'm jumping the gun. Comrade Tom, Comrade Leroy, would you come to the front, please? Got to get the trophies out. Okay, here we go. Top male, Caleb McNabb. the top female, Xandria Santiago.
Karen? At this time, I would ask that this year's Local Arrangements Committee Chairperson, Comrade Leslie Maudsley, and the Provincial President of the Ladies Auxiliary for BC Yukon, Comrade Karen Crashley, to come forward to be presented with a plaque recognizing the BC Yukon Ladies Auxiliary for the outstanding hosting of the 2014 Legion Nationals. Comrade André Paquette will now introduce our guest speaker. Et maintenant, j'inviterai le camarade Paquette à bien vouloir présenter notre conférencier invité.
Mr. Primo grew up in Surrey, British Columbia. As an athlete, he was a member of Canada's senior track and field team from 1990 to 1998, competing in the 400-meter hurdle event and the 4x400-meter relay. In 1995, he received a Bachelor of Arts degree in Geography and a certificate in Urban Studies from Simon Fraser University. In 1997, he graduated magna cum laude from Auburn University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Education, while double majoring in Political Science and Geography. Laurier coached Canada's national track and field team from 2002 to 2009, where he was responsible for jumps, combined events, and relay, and helped lead Canada at 2 World Junior Championships and 3 Pan American Junior Championships. From 2000 to 2009, he was also an assistant coach with the University of British Columbia, in charge of sprints, hurdles, combined events, jumps, and javelin, and the head coach and administrator with the Vancouver Thunderbirds Track and Field Club, while also, from 1997 to 2009, maintaining the role of head coach of cross country and track and field at the St. George's School in Vancouver. Laurie has coached some of Canada's best young athletes in recent years, including Elizabeth Gleadle, who is the current Canadian record holder in the javelin with a throw of 61.15 meters. High jumper Michael Mason, who won gold at the 2004 World Junior Championship and competed at the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, and the up-and-coming sprinter Rohan Stewart, who has a personal best time in the 200-meter event of 20.89. In 2007, he was the recipient of the Outstanding Coach Award for BC Athletics, and in 1991, he was awarded Sports BC's Harry Jerome Comeback Athlete of the Year after returning to the competitive track after a battle with cancer. In 1994, the cancer returned, and once again, he was able to win the fight and actually posted his career best time after his second bout. Since coming to the Trinity Western University in 2011, he has built the Spartans into a highly competitive track and field and cross-country program within the Canadian inter-university sports. While at Trinity Western University, Primo took time off in the summer of 2012 to fill the role as head coach of Canada's Paralympic team at the Summer Olympics in London. Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, athletes all, please join me in welcoming Mr. Laurier Primo.
I don't know if I can live up to that billing. That was pretty remarkable. Thank you. Thanks to the Legion, to meet organizers, Athletics Canada, honored guests, and most importantly, coaches and athletes. As you heard, I am the track and field coach here at Trinity Western University, and it's been remarkable for us over the last couple of years to sign some of the athletes that have come through this competition. So we signed 4 athletes who were national champions or national championship contenders from last year's meet, and we're hoping to do that again this year. Much to the chagrin of my fellow CIS coaches out there, I will give a shameless plug for our latest recruit signee. She's from Edwin Allen High School in Jamaica. Her name is Claudette Allen. High school girl who just jumped 6:45 in the long jump, 11:69 in the 100, 12:89 in the triple jump, 24:12 in the 200, 13:70 in the hurdles. And her 4x100 team just broke the world high school record. They ran 43:95. This is a girls' team. So we're getting pretty good. So I sat where you are in 1986 as a juvenile, they called it juvenile back then, as a youth athlete in Sudbury, Ontario. And I went on to a career where I was kind of just good enough to make the national teams, but never good enough to make it out of the heats at any of the major events. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about 2 myths that I want to dispel that I think that you hear at awards banquets, and I want to confirm one truth. And I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the influences in my life as I'm doing that. Some of you may know Kayla Cornally. She was hired by Athletics Ontario in 2012 to run their Paralympic development program. She'd kill me if she knew I was talking about her this way. But, you know, as the head coach of the Paralympic team, we had an opportunity to interact, and I met her in Orlando at a training camp, and she started asking me questions that were way beyond anyone who had never been involved in track and field before. And to be clear, she hadn't been involved in track and field. So, like a good creeper, I went back to my room and Googled her to figure out why she knew to ask such poignant questions. And as it turns out, this girl who was 26 years old had in 2006 won the CNN Young Persons Award. And what she had done, she had a cousin with autism. And she understood that her cousin wasn't relating in the same way at family functions, and they had a tight-knit family. And she wanted to figure out a way that she could get Loretta to communicate with the rest of the family. And so she took the piano because she knew Loretta really liked music. And she assigned each key a letter of the alphabet. And she taught her autistic cousin, who had never been able to speak or read or write, to talk and tell stories by using the keys on the piano. So this brings me to myth number 1. You can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. That is untrue. And you all know this. There are very few men in this room who will be able to run 140 in the 800. No women's probably going to be able to run 153. And no matter how much effort you put into what you do, it's not going to change that fact. And I'm never going to be as smart as Kayla Cornally. As much as I'm inspired by what she's accomplished, and as much as I would like to compliment her work, I'm just too dumb. But that doesn't mean that the struggle is any less worthwhile. For me, working with Kayla and being able to be the best I can be is hugely rewarding. So too is pushing yourself to the limit as if you could be a world record holder. Knowing your performance limits is important, but working like you don't have them is even better. going to move stories here. Dave McLeod was my high school principal. And I remember this day like it was yesterday. On March 13th, 1990, he phoned me. And I was 2 years out of high school, so it was kind of weird getting a call from your high school principal. I thought the statute of limitations on cheating had expired. But he phoned me to tell me that David Nichols, my high school track and field coach, who was 49 years old, was sitting and watching TV, he was watching March Madness, had had a brain aneurysm and passed away. And he asked me if I would take over coaching the track and field team at Queen Elizabeth High School, which had won the previous 2 provincial championships in BC. So there was a grieving process, but my principal and I teamed up. He managed the team and I coached it. As it turned out, I didn't particularly love coaching early on. I did it out of respect for my coach, for my principal, these men that had seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. It was an obligation, not something I derived pleasure from. But I worked really hard at it despite not loving it, and our team got good. Queen Elizabeth High School went on to win 6 provincial championships, and in 1992, in the middle of that championship sweep, QE alumni swept the Olympic trials in the 400-meter hurdles. So, myth 2. I oftentimes hear that the secret to happiness is finding out what you love to do, then figuring out how to get paid to do it. Well, that's true for like 1% of the population. The rest of us have to find meaning and satisfaction in a job well done, even if it's not doing the things we love. I didn't love coaching initially. Answering phones, collecting trash, chaperoning a bunch of athletes who are trying to sneak out of their dorm rooms. These are not things that people are passionate about. But there is satisfaction in doing whatever it is you find yourself doing to the best of your ability. The secret to success is maximizing your potential. So my last story. Tom Zavrina is a corporate lawyer in Toronto, and he was third in that race, by the way, that we swept the Olympic trials in. I was second. I didn't win. He was my best friend in high school and throughout our 20s, and we were training partners as well as good buddies. When I was diagnosed with cancer as a 20-year-old, Tom, who was only 18 at that time, was by my side every day. He came with me to chemotherapy appointments and helped me through my university classwork that I would miss while I was going through treatment. Other friends were less inclined to see me because hospitals freaked them out or because they were just really busy. Tom not only stayed by my side, but he also navigated with me some of the disappointment I had in other friends and their reaction to my illness. A couple of years ago, Tom heard about a girl in the Toronto area that had made the World Junior team but couldn't afford to go. He sent an email around his corporate law office, and by the end of the afternoon, he had $6,000 they paid for her trip. So here's my confirming fact. Sports teaches us life skills, and it teaches them in a concrete way. It teaches you that making it work with people you don't get along with sometimes is a necessity. That there are people you can rely on, and some you can't. That lifelong relationships are as meaningful as your performance on the track, in the field, or at the workplace. Tom lives on the other side of the country now, but the lessons that he taught me through our friendship, which was grounded in track and field, will be with me always. And the lessons you are learning by being part of this national championship will be long-lasting in your lives too. I wish you well in your endeavor to maximize your talents. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share some of my story.
Laurier, I'd just like to take a moment to say thank you for taking the time out to be with us here today, to share your stories, to share your achievements. It's certainly been excellent, and I'm certainly sure that it's inspiring for the young athletes that we have in this room. And once again, best of luck with all your future endeavors. Take care, and again, thank you for coming to us. Small token of appreciation to take back home with you. Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, so I know you're a little tired of hearing us talk, so this is our best part. This is where each provincial command, I imagine you've all been told and given fair warning that it's your turn to give us your little spiel and interpretations and feelings and what you thought about this National Youth Track and Field Championships. So I will invite the representatives from each team, starting from the east with Newfoundland and Labrador Command and traveling west to come forward and speak about your week with us. As is tradition, the team from BC Yukon will speak last as the host team. Alors maintenant, c'est votre tour et j'inviterai les représentants de chaque équipe à s'avancer et nous parler de leur semaine, en commençant avec la direction provinciale de Terre-Neuve et Labrador et en allant vers l'ouest. Comme il veut la tradition, l'équipe provinciale de la Colombie-Britannique Yukon se prononcera en dernier car elle est l'équipe d'accueil. So Newfoundland, Labrador, please come forward.
Je voudrais remercier la Légion royale canadienne, les anciens combattants, les arbitres, les entraîneurs et les bénévoles pour organiser cette compétition d'athlétisme fantastique et de nous avoir donné l'occasion de vivre cette expérience inoubliable. Aussi, je voudrais féliciter Jim et Carol de l'équipe Terre-Neuvienne pour leur 36e anniversaire de mariage.
I would like to thank the Royal Canadian Legion, officials, volunteers, and veterans for the fantastic track meet and for a lifetime experience. Also, I would like to congratulate our chaperones, Jim and Carol, on their 36th anniversary.
Prince Edward Island Command, l'île du Prince-Édouard. Ladies first.
I told you. No. Okay. Au nom de l'île du Prince-Édouard, bonjour à tous. Nous voilà déjà près de la fin de cette semaine dont nous attendions avec tant d'anticipation. Sorry. Mais même si elle est passée si vite, nous pouvons tous en tirer des souvenirs qui vont durer pour longtemps. Pour la réalisation d'un événement aussi spécial, nous devons remercier plusieurs groupes de gens. Premièrement, merci à tous les bénévoles pour nous avoir accommodés pendant la semaine, peu importe si vous travaillez dans la cafétéria ou sur la piste. Sachez que votre travail est grandement apprécié. Deuxièmement, merci à vous, les vétérans. Vous montrez l'exemple parfait de la détermination et du travail bien fait. Des qualités indispensables dans la vie d'un athlète de haute performance. Ensuite, merci beaucoup à la ville de Langley pour votre hospitalité. Oui, merci. Vous pouvez vous assurer que nous nous sentions bien à l'aise et que cette édition des championnats de la Légion royale canadienne a été bien mémorable. Finalement, nous aimerions vous remercier les athlètes pour avoir été de féroces compétiteurs. C'est grâce à vous que nous avons réussi à trouver une autre vitesse, lancer un peu plus fort et sauter un peu plus loin. Aussi, nous avons formé des liens avec certains d'entre vous qui dureront pour longtemps et j'espère qu'on pourra se rejoindre à l'édition 2015 du championnat de la Légion royale canadienne. Merci et à la prochaine.
In the name of Prince Edward Island, hello everyone. Here we are already near the end of this, in which we await with much anticipation. Even though the week has passed so fast, we can all pull away memories that will last us a lifetime. For the realization of this special event, we really do need to thank many people. First off, thank you to the volunteers, whether you worked in the cafeteria or at the track. Please know that your work is greatly appreciated. Secondly, thank you to the veterans. You are the perfect example of determination and hard work, two qualities that are important for an athlete of high performance. We also need to thank the town of Langley for your hospitality. You can assure yourself that this edition of the Legion National Youth Track and Field Championship have been memorable. And finally, we would like to thank the athletes for being the fierce competitors that you are. It's thanks to you we have achieved to run a little faster, to throw a little harder, and jump a little further. We have also formed a bond with some of you that will last a lifetime, and I hope that we will meet again in the near future. Thank you. And remember, folks, dream on.
Next is Nova Scotia, Nunavut. La direction provinciale de la Nouvelle-Écosse et Nunavut.
I'm Drew Erskine.
And I'm Riley Vanden Heuvel.
I'm from Nova Scotia.
And I'm from Cape Breton,
All right.
Nova Scotia.
We were asked to give a speech tonight, but me and Riley don't speak French, so we got Pete the translator here, and he's going to speak French.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Pete.
All right. We would like to start our speech by giving a special thanks to all the coaches and chaperones, especially John and Helen and Les and Ruth. Next, we would like to thank the Legion representatives, the veterans, and the Royal Canadian Legion. Thank you to the event organizers, volunteers, and fellow competitors, and our bus driver, Charlie, for getting us to and from the track each day. Thank you to Trinity Western University for letting us stay on their campus, and last but not least, thank you to the town of Langley for hosting the Legion Championships for the past 2 years.
Merci pour les entraîneurs, les chaperons, et un spécial merci pour John et Helen et Les et Ruth. Merci les représentants du Légion, les anciens combattants, la Légion royale canadienne, les bénévoles, les parents, et merci pour la compétition, les organisateurs de cet événement et le chauffeur du bus Charlie. Merci Trinity Western et la ville de Langley.
Drew and I, along with many others, have had some great experiences through Legions. We have traveled coast to coast, from PEI through Ottawa and all the way here to BC. The friends and memories made on each of these trips will stay with us forever. The atmosphere created by everyone with this organization is what kept Drew and I coming for the past 4 years. This is the biggest meet of the year for us. It has given us something to look forward to and work towards, and has definitely made us more independent. Legions has made us realize that it is okay to sacrifice a social life for track and field. For some, starting this week, they were shy and didn't know what to expect, but at the end, we could really tell that all of the athletes and coaches came together and bonded. The range of personalities has made this for an eventful and interesting week. Legions is definitely something to strive for, and we advise all of you with years left to come that with hard work and dedication, you make them the best years ever. So thank you for giving Drew and I and the rest of the athletes the best 4 years ever.
Nous avons eu les expériences incroyables avec les Légions. nous voyageons d'un côté du Canada à l'autre, de l'île de Prince-Édouard, Ottawa et Colombie-Britannique 2 fois. Les amis et les mémoires de chaque année vont être nous avec pour tout le temps. C'est la plus grande compétition de l'année. Nous travaillons trop fort et nous devenons plus indépendants. Nous avons réalisé que c'est d'accord de sacrifier une vie sociale pour le track and field. Quelques personnes étaient silentes, mais à la fin de semaine, toute l'équipe devient des amis. La Légion est quelque chose de très bien de travailler pour. Nous recommandons tous les athlètes qui ont les années aux Légions de travailler dur, être dédiés pour le futur. Merci pour les meilleures 4 années de tout.
New Brunswick Command, la direction provinciale du Nouveau-Brunswick.
Bonsoir à tous, je m'appelle Louise Schwartz et comme vous le savez déjà, je viens du Nouveau-Brunswick. Je suis assez certaine que la plupart d'entre vous seraient d'accord que les Légions représentent la semaine la plus attendue de l'été. Étant originaire d'une petite province, c'est un privilège pour nous, les Néo-Brunswickois, d'avoir l'opportunité de compétitionner contre tellement d'athlètes de haut calibre provenant de partout à travers le pays. C'est assez évident que chacun d'entre nous avons travaillé très fort pour se rendre ici. Mais à la fin de la journée, cette semaine représente plus qu'une simple compétition. C'est une expérience unique qui nous permet de rencontrer une diversité de gens dévoués avec des buts et des priorités semblables. Néanmoins, cette expérience ne serait pas possible sans l'aide de plusieurs individus. Cela étant dit, nous aimerions remercier les bénévolats pour avoir pris le temps d'aider à assurer le succès de cet événement, les entraîneurs pour avoir consacré d'innombrables heures afin de nous aider à réussir et améliorer, les athlètes qui rendent l'événement une à ne pas manquer, et finalement les chaperons et membres de la Légion qui, année après année, nous supportent en organisant cette compétition. Comme à chaque année, cette semaine a été inoubliable, remplie de PV, de rencontres et de compétitions intenses. Merci à tous et je souhaite de vous revoir bientôt sur la piste.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anthony Cormier, and I came here representing New Brunswick. I'm sure we speak for most, if not all, when saying that Legions have been the highlight of our summers. Coming from a province as small as New Brunswick, it's a privilege to be able to come and compete against so many high-caliber athletes from across the country. We can all agree that we have worked hard to get here, but at the end of the day, it's more than just a competition. It's a great way to meet other people from different backgrounds who have all made similar sacrifices. Without the help of so many people, we would not be able to share this great experience. We would therefore like to thank the volunteers for giving up their free time in order to make this meet a success, the coaches for devoting countless hours in order to help us excel in this sport, the athletes for making this a great experience and to push each other to reach higher goals. Finally, we would all like to thank the chaperones and members of the Legion for supporting us and making this event possible. This week has been very memorable, filled with PBs, fun times, and great competition. Thank you all for making this experience amazing, and I hope to see you all in the near future.
And now we have Quebec Command, la direction provinciale du Québec.
Dear fellow athletes, chaperones, and members of the Royal Canadian Legion Committee, good evening.
Bonsoir, chers athlètes, entraîneurs, chaperons et bien sûr ceux qui ont rendu cette belle expérience possible, le comité organisateur de la Légion royale canadienne.
As we dine this night at the traditional Legion banquet, we commemorate the effort and hard work we put into our training that led us get to where we are now.
Nous sommes tous ici rassemblés ce soir pour commémorer nos efforts tout au long de l'année et pour se féliciter de s'être rendus jusqu'ici.
Look around you and think about the great time you had with your teammates and competitors. Whether you stood on the podium this weekend or not, you can proudly say that this is merely the beginning of a potentially long and successful athletic career. Keep in touch with the people you met, as there is a strong probability they will be alongside you in your progress.
Regardez autour de vous et pensez au moment que vous avez passé avec vos coéquipiers et vos nouveaux amis. Que vous ayez monté sur le podium ou non, dites-vous que ce n'est qu'un début à votre carrière. Vous êtes définitivement sur le bon chemin. Gardez contact avec les gens que vous avez rencontrés lors de cette compétition, car ils seront probablement présents dans votre futur cheminement sportif.
We would like to sincerely thank all of the people that were involved in making this beautiful event happen. Thank you to our trainers that taught us everything we know, our parents who support us every step of the way, our fellow athletes and our chaperones who stand by our side, and once again, the members of the Royal Canadian Legion for making all of this possible.
Donc, nous voudrions prendre le temps de sincèrement remercier tous nos entraîneurs qui nous ont poussés, nos parents pour tout leur support et encouragement, nos coéquipiers avec qui nous vivons nos expériences, les chaperons qui ont su nous guider et finalement les membres de la Légion royale canadienne pour avoir rendu tout cela possible.
And we just want you to know we're excited to welcome all of you next year in Sainte-Thérèse for the 39th Legion National Youth Track and Field Championships.
We're setting the benchmark pretty high, so we're going to have la direction provinciale de l'Ontario. Ontario Command, please come forward.
Well, good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joseph Maxwell, and I'm a thrower from Team Ontario. So, I think now that the competition has ended, I've personally really had some time to reflect on the weekend that we've had here. This is my third time being part of Team Ontario, and looking back on it, I found that the experience has really gotten better each time, with this Nationals being my favorite. Over the past few days, I've met and made friends with many other athletes, friendships that I'm sure will last a lifetime. This, along with the high-end athletic competition and all the valuable knowledge we've learned throughout the week, has made it a really great event. A big thank you to the Royal Canadian Legion for making all of this possible. Without their generous donations and organization, Nationals wouldn't have happened. Also, thank you to the Township of Langley, the LIC, Athletics Canada, and the many sponsors, coaches, chaperones, and volunteers who made this event possible. I speak for myself, and I'm sure many of the other athletes, when I say I've enjoyed every minute. It's been a lot of fun and also a good foundation for future goals and aspirations. Thank you, and athletes, let's enjoy that late curfew tonight.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Mathieu Plamondon et je suis un coureur de distance. J'aimerais donner un grand merci à la Légion royale canadienne pour rendre tout cela possible. Sans leur généreux financement et leur excellente organisation, ressortissant n'aurait pas dû se passer. Aussi, je vous remercie le canton de Langley, Athlétisme Canada et nombreux commanditaires, entraîneurs, accompagnateurs et bénévoles pour leur énorme contribution à cet événement. Je parle pour moi et je suis sûr que beaucoup d'autres athlètes, quand je dis que nous avons apprécié chaque minute, il y a eu beaucoup de plaisir et aussi une bonne base pour futurs objectifs et aspirations. Merci.
La direction provinciale du Manitoba Nord-Ouest Ontario. So I'm inviting Manitoba Northwestern Ontario Command to please come forward.
Je m'excuse, j'ai un rhume, mais whatever. Au nom de l'équipe manitobaine et du nord-ouest de l'Ontario, je voudrais vous remercier pour tout. Premièrement, la Légion pour nous rendre ici et tous les bénévolats. Aussi, je voudrais féliciter tous les athlètes qui ont participé dans ces Jeux. C'est incroyable de voir tout le talent que le Canada a offrir. Je vous souhaite tous de bonnes saisons à venir. Nous nous souviendrons de tous les Canadiens qui ont donné leur vie pour nous. Ils ont payé le sacrifice ultime. Cette semaine restera avec moi toute ma vie et j'ai hâte à voir des faces familiers l'année prochaine. Merci.
Hello, my name is Jenny. On behalf of Team Manitoba and Northwest Ontario, we just wanted to say a huge thank you to Legion for sponsoring the athletes here. This truly was an amazing experience for all of us. We also wanted to congratulate all the athletes for making it this far. It's nice to be able to see all of the incredible talent here. We remember and will never forget and are thankful for the sacrifices of our past Canadians. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for their ultimate sacrifices. It was a privilege to be able to compete here, and we wish all of the athletes good luck in the future. Thank you.
J'inviterai maintenant les athlètes de la direction provinciale de Saskatchewan. The two athletes from Saskatchewan Command, please.
Good evening, chaperones, coaches, and athletes. I am Brenna, and this is Zach, and we are here to represent Team Saskatchewan. We would like to start by recognizing the amount of work it took to put on this national event. It would not be possible without the help from the countless amount of volunteers and Athletics Canada officials. We would like to thank the City of Langley, BC for hosting this national track meet for 2 consecutive years. As athletes, this meet has provided us with the opportunity to not only compete at a higher level, but also to learn and improve from all of the amazing young talent we have in Canada. This meet motivates track and field athletes to strive for more than just high school provincials and gives them the confidence that they could one day represent Team Canada. This camp provides us with the opportunity to bond as provincial teams as well as meet people from all over Canada. For this, we would like to thank the Royal Canadian Legion for putting on this event.
Bon après-midi, accompagnateurs, entraîneurs et athlètes. Je m'appelle Zach et elle s'appelle Brenna, et on est ici pour représenter l'équipe Saskatchewan. Nous aimerions commencer par reconnaître le montant de travail qu'il faut pour avoir cette compétition nationale. Ça ne serait pas possible sans l'aide de tous les volontaires et les officiels de l'athlétisme canadien. Nous aimerons remercier la ville de Langley pour être l'hôte de cet événement national pour 2 ans consécutifs. D'être athlète, on avait l'opportunité de ne pas seulement participer à un haut niveau, mais aussi d'apprendre et s'améliorer avec les personnes exceptionnelles. En les athlétisme canadien. Ce championnat nous tous donne de la motivation pour aspirer pour plus que juste les écoles secondaires professionnelles et donne les athlètes de la confiance qu'une journée, ils peuvent représenter l'équipe Canada. Les championnats donnent-nous une opportunité d'être une plus proche équipe et de rencontrer des personnes de nouvelles provinces. Pour ça, on voudrait remercier la Légion royale canadienne pour mettre cet événement.
We will now proceed with Alberta Northwest Territories Command. Alors, la direction provinciale de l'Alberta et Territoires du Nord-Ouest.
Hello, Mr. President Eagles, honored guests, organizing committee, athletes, coaches, chaperones, fellow Legion teams, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Callum McNabb, and I'm here speaking on behalf of Team Alberta, but I know I speak for all athletes when I say I've had a great time here at Legions. I came in with no idea what to expect and some lofty goals for myself, but now I'm leaving with 3 times the friends and the memories that will be part of me forever. The Legion Nationals are able to happen and be so successful because of our passionate chaperones and organizers who make this run as smooth as it does. We have them to thank for everything. I would also like to extend my gratitude towards the coaches, the Legion, and those who fought for us in our freedom. Legions is truly a great experience, and it's true that this is a step in the right direction towards something bigger, not just in athletics, but in every aspect of life. For this, I thank each and every one of you because you're all a part of this. Have a safe trip home.
Bonsoir, chers distingués membres de la Légion, entraîneurs et athlètes. Je m'appelle Gracia Mwamba et je suis ici en tant qu'athlète représentant l'Alberta. Et pour le peu de temps que nous avons passé ici à Langley, en Colombie-Britannique, nous avons vécu des moments pleins de souvenirs inoubliables. Nous avons rencontré beaucoup de gens uniques et pleins d'enthousiasme venant des 4 coins du pays. Ces moments nous ont permis non seulement de se faire de nouveaux amis, mais de créer des souvenirs qui dureront toute une vie. Sans la Légion, ces possibilités n'existeraient pas. Ceci dit, vous êtes à l'origine de la création de toutes nos amitiés et de ce fait, j'aimerais remercier une fois de plus les accompagnateurs, les entraîneurs, les organisateurs et tous ceux qui pensent que la jeunesse est sacrée. En tant que représentant de l'équipe de l'Alberta et Territoire du Nord-Ouest, je vous remercie infiniment.
Last but not least, BC Yukon Command. Dernier, mais non le moindre, la direction provinciale de la Colombie-Britannique, Yukon.
This year at Legions has been a great event by bringing athletes from across the country together. By competing... I have no mic. Okay. By competing with fellow athletes, we gain experience at a national level and further our athletic aspirations. Such an event would not be possible without the dedication from our calm, soft-spoken leader, Aaron Bell, coaches, chaperones, officials, the guy who clapped at all the wrong times in opening ceremonies, the other many volunteers, and most importantly, the Royal Canadian Legion and Ladies Auxiliary. We thank them for hosting the Youth Nationals once again and keeping the tradition alive. We greatly appreciate the Ladies Auxiliary for their generous donations. On behalf of Team BC Yukon, we would like to once again thank the Royal Canadian Legion and Ladies Auxiliary for putting on this event. Thank you.
Cette année aux Légions a été un événement exceptionnel, réunissant des athlètes de partout à travers le pays. Des compétitions avec les autres athlètes, nous avons acquis de l'expérience à un niveau national et nous a fait rêver à une grande carrière athlétique. Un tel événement n'a pas été possible sans l'implication des entraîneurs, des chaperons, des officiels et de nombreux bénévoles, mais sans oublier, bien sûr, la Légion royale canadienne et les fondations des femmes auxiliaires. Nous les remercions pour l'organisation des Nations Jeunesse qui, chaque année, nous permettra de nous dépasser en tant qu'athlètes. Nous tenons à souligner le généreux don de la Fondation des femmes auxiliaires. C'est grandement apprécié. De toute l'équipe de la Colombie-Britannique et du Yukon, je voudrais encore une fois remercier la Légion royale canadienne et la Fondation des femmes auxiliaires pour avoir rendu la tenue de cet événement possible. Merci.
All right, I guess with the microphone dying, it's a subtle hint that we should be moving on and getting on with the closing part of this ceremony. So without further ado, and before we actually do the closing part, I would like to invite Comrades Leslie and Claire and Comrade Andre Paquette to come forward when we proceed with the official passing of the symbolic torch from the organizers of this year to Sainte-Thérèse, Quebec. So I'd ask Leslie and Claire to please come forward. Yes, you must pass the torch. It is that time. I would also ask the members of the LEC that helped Leslie this year to please stand. And the volunteers, yes, for the LAC, please stand as we proceed with this passage of the symbolic torch.
Gotta be done. Leslie, I've been asked to pass this over to you. Something that's been floating around here for a day or so, and is Cheryl here?
No.
Would you please make sure that she gets this as well? Okay, thank you.
This all seems like deja vu from the opening ceremony because I'm going to ask you to please stand again as we proceed with the closing ceremony. Mesdames et messieurs, je vous prie de bien vouloir vous lever pour la fermeture de cette cérémonie. Sergeant at Arms, prepare to march off the colors.
Party, halt! Inward, turn. Carry, colors.
I would now invite our Dominion Sports Committee Chairperson, Comrade Andre Paquette, to please come forward to proceed with the closing ceremony.
The business of these championships being concluded, let us, as we part, remember our duty to our branch, our comrades, our country, and our sovereign. May we ever strive to promote unity in the spirit of comradeship, never forgetting the solemn obligations that we have assumed as members of the Royal Canadian Legion. And remembering them, may we ever pray, Lord God of hosts, be with us yet, lest we forget, lest we forget. One verse of God Save the Queen. God save our gracious Queen. Long live our noble Queen. God save our Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Sergeant at Arms, march off the colors. Fatherland, quick, march! Thank you, athletes, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all. We hope to see you next year in Saint-Thérèse, Quebec. Safe travels, everyone.